out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Loaded up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heart be needing, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Ooh, you take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Ooh, you take me higher, baby. You take me higher. Yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth, the Power of Aggressive News Show with Let's BS Real. I am your host, Marlon, along with Theas. And on today's show, as you can see, we will have a recap, a highlight of the DNC, the Democratic National Convention that would happen last week, of highlight of all 4 days. So I'm going to give a grade. Theas, I want you to give a grade. After the 4th video. So we're gonna see highlights of all 4 days. I just want you to give a grade at the end of the last video to say, just to let us know what you thought about the convention. Also, we're kind of full the second hour with a Am I the A-hole, a positive story of the week, Mafia video of the week, and of course Foxy's videos of the week. This, I need you to take over for 1 second, but tell everybody, how's everything going?
Yeah, man. So everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to Sunday show. So yeah, man, things are going really good. I can't complain. I've been spending a lot of time with family. I was just chopping up with Marlon off camera. We were talking about a really great celebration of life, a birthday, because the person's not gone, right? Birthday party was really awesome. A lot of love, a lot of great music, great food. My daughter's doing her band thing, so that's mad cool, just watching her grow into herself and all of that. So I'm just really full, bro. I'm really full. Everything is pretty good. Moving into the next phase with, our United Core. So if you guys have seen the video, you've seen that. If not, please go check it out. Go to my website, ourunitedcore.com. But yeah, man, it's just been good. It's been good. How about you?
Been pretty good. Surprisingly enough, last week went by really quickly, and I didn't think it was. This week, in case y'all don't know, we will have a Friday night guys with Anna. I have to say it like that. Friday night guys with Anna. And I hate that Theas will not be there because this is the second time Theas has missed the story about sexy potatoes. So I really feel like somewhere along the lines, I am not going to make this a Saturday night vibe show where I'm going to make sure that you on the show. We're going to go through it, even if we have to do, remembering the past sort of thing. But you have got to hear the story. You have to hear it. It's
bro, I saw a sexy potato. You did it for me. Like, I missed the show. And then y'all ran it back for me, I think. I remember something about sexy potatoes. I remember that. I don't think you
ever heard the story. I think we was talking about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but other thing, I mean, hey, football season, just so you know, every year, football season. It's my daughter's band thing. So I don't own my Fridays. My Fridays are shot. Because either I'm going to a game or I gotta go pick her up from the game. So
don't worry about it. You know me, family comes first. Let's see who's already out here. Parker. On a non-political note, I was so surprised when Beyonce didn't show up on the final night. I thought it would have been obvious since Kamala campaign theme song "Freedom" is by Beyonce. And that's
Parker, how you say on a non-political note and then reference a political event?
I was going to let it go.
No, but I feel you, man. A lot of people were talking about that. I'm like this, man. We all know where Beyonce stands, and right now, Taylor has the light. She's that it girl right now. So, so long as you got that right energy flowing, we already backing Kamala for the most part. Anyway, the most of the people who are fans of Beyonce, regardless of ethnicity, you know, we kind of stand on a particular side anyway. I get it. I get why people thought it would be, but that's why I think it was so cool because it's a nice head fake, you know.
Oh, he come back. It was about Beyonce, not politics, though. It was about why she didn't show up to a political event.
Yeah, but she'll probably throw one together before election day, so maybe they decide to save her.
Well, but you also have to remember, if there was ever going to be a time when Beyonce is going to show up, it'll be like Barack Obama when she sung a song while Barack and Michelle was dancing. So if there was ever going to be a time where Beyonce shows up, I'm talking about if Kamala gets elected president.
You mean like inauguration?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Beyonce would be the one singing inauguration. She might. I don't know. There should be somebody else they should get. They should probably get somebody else. But I can see her being like really big. Like they're going to do this because the Democrats have so much star power on their side. Those last 30 days to the election, there's going to be a series of things I imagine they're going to throw together, you know, because that's how they do. I mean, the cynical side of me is that's how they do, you know, black voters anyway. And then on the other side, it's just, you know, let's finish out with a party. That's what they do. I think she'll be back for that.
She'll be back. All right. Without any further ado, let's get this party started. All right, and if you haven't hit that like button, please do so at this time. It doesn't cost you anything, and it would truly help the algorithm let everybody know that we are live right now. And let's go ahead and get into night one.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we'll keep working to bring hostages home and end the war in Gaza and bring peace and security to the Middle East. We're working around the clock, my Secretary of State, to prevent a wider war and reunite hostages with their families and surge humanitarian health and food assistance into Gaza now. To end the civilian suffering of the Palestinian people and finally deliver a ceasefire and end this war. Those protesters out in the street, they have a point. A lot of innocent people are being killed on both sides. Let me know in my heart when my days are through, America, America, I gave my best to you.
Donald Trump's America is the America of January 6th. People who have no vision traffic in division. He does not know how to lead us, and so he wants to divide us. America, make no mistake, Donald Trump is a plague on the American conscience.
I'm Michigan State Senator Mallory McMorrow, and this is Project 2025. Over the next 4 nights, you are going to hear a lot about what is in this 900-page document. Why? Because this is the Republican blueprint for a second Trump term.
As I approached Vice President Harris for our official photo, she turned to me and asked, "What's wrong?" Mind you, we'd never met, but she saw right through me. She saw the distress. I immediately began crying. And the most powerful woman in the world wiped my tears and listened. It's so hard for me to tell this story. She then said, among other things, "You are exactly where God wants you. Your district chose you because they believe in you, and so do I."
Nearly 66 million Americans voted for a future where there are no ceilings on our dreams. And afterwards, we refused to give up on America. Millions marched, many ran for office. We kept our eyes on the future. Well, my friends, the future is here.
And after the results are tallied that night, we can, in the words of the great Steph Curry, we can tell Donald Trump, night, night.
All right. So that's the highlights from day one. You want to go first, Tias?
I mean, I can. I'll be honest with you. I didn't watch any of the DNC convention live. Everything I have is from watching clips. I think overall, very well done. So we're starting with day one. So Joe Biden's speech, I think, was great. I think he nailed it. I'm glad to see everybody was giving him his love. He's a complicated character, just like he even said in his speech. You know, he hasn't gotten it all right, but I believe he's finished strong. That's my take, right? So, yeah, that's my take on Joe, right? And it was very obvious or reinforcing as to why he is not the one that should be running right now. Not because of his ability, because obviously the dude has done a great job. I mean, even now when he's a completely lamed up president, he's got hostages back. He's did something with the prescription drugs so that Medicare can begin to negotiate. I mean, what? Come on, man. So mad props to him. I didn't really like Jasmine Crockett's speech too much. It was kind of empty to me, you know, but for those that needed it and the ones that landed for, wonderful. They got what they needed from it. Raphael Warnock.
I saw that one coming a mile away.
That brother bothers me. I'm gonna keep it light because I don't want to talk bad about my folk, you know what I'm saying? But it bothers me, you know what I'm saying? Like his very existence in Congress bothers me. Separation of church and state is big, or should be. And you are an active minister with a congregation and a senator. that's just I don't like that, right? Because that means there's no other way to put it, but that's affecting how you decide your legislation because you got multiple constituencies you got to deal with. Now, I definitely feel like your faith should inform how you move, but to me, that's just a little too close for comfort, so I don't like that. I do think he's a gifted orator, which he should be since he's always like preaching and stuff. But bro, where you been? You know what I'm saying? Like, you one of like only how many black people in the Senate? You got Booker, you got Timmy,
Warnock.
and you got Warnock. It's like 3, right? I don't think there's any other black people in the Senate. Period. Black people in the Senate. I don't even think we have a black female senator.
No.
Yeah. So
I think literally Harris was the last one.
Facts, right? All the black women, they got them sitting in the house. But it's like, dude, you could get hold of a microphone at any time simply because LaFonza Butler, he's a senator. Okay, I'm gonna go with the historian here, Parker. But yeah. I've never heard of this cat.
No, that's a she.
Oh, it's a lady.
She was
I'm sorry.
California out the Feinstein.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's why.
Cool. So there's 4.
4.
All right, so that's a whole 4% of the U.S. Senate. That's nice.
The one from California is
thank you, yeah. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Parker.
Thanks.
So my point is, he's one of 4. That means at any time he can get hold of a microphone. Okay, every news media channel would love to put the microphone in front of his face. I need you to speak up more, man. I need you to not just look, not just shine off of the fact that you're in rarefied space. Use it, and I'm sure he does stuff in his senatorial capacity, but if we don't see you and we don't hear you, all you can really do is vote. So, bravo. So we know the Congress is kind of deadlocked. I would just love to see him use some of that star power he has and use some of that oratory skill that he has and that beautiful brain that he has. Be out there and do something with it, man. That's sorry, I don't want to make it a whole diatribe on him. But I think day one was really good. I think Hillary's speech was really good. The lady with the 2025, I think she did her job. Her job was to let people know we're going to make sure that this is kept in front of you over the course of the event. So she did. She knew the assignment. They carried out the assignment. Did it run long? Yeah, but it's a big pep rally. Who cares? But that's my take.
I agree basically on a lot of things that you said. I agree. Biden is a very good speaker. The only pushback that I have, which it's my pushback because it's my personal thing, when it comes to the Gaza war, you're doing the whole, there's good people on both sides.
Oh, I forgot that part. Yeah.
But I can't get that mad because that's politics. I saw that coming. You could put more emphasis on helping the Palestine people. You could put more emphasis on humanitarianism. You could put more emphasis on those things because that's in the forefront of people's minds when you think about the Gaza war. But you also know, quote, who's signing the paychecks. And
well, I'm sorry, not to interrupt, but I'm glad you raised that because I forgot about that. When he was saying about the deaths on both sides. And I don't follow the Gaza war too tight just because I don't. But that statement did bother me because his statement wasn't that it was good people on both sides, right? His statement was the deaths on both sides. And I'm like, maybe I'm wrong here. But one, I don't like the fact that the Democratic Party, and I understand why they do it for the political reason, like you said, Marlon, why they frame things the way they do. But they try to pretend like that October 7th or whatever the date was the first volley in this thing. And it wasn't. And there was a horrific loss of life there in the settlements, right? So that's bad. And Israel had every right to respond. I agree. But from that point on, the dying has been pretty one-sided.
That's what's my point. Like, I know you do it because of politics. I get it. I just knew when, as soon as it came out of his mouth, I went, don't like that. I don't like it. And just because I understand it, don't mean I automatically like it, because I don't. But anyway, Warnock. Okay. I didn't think about the aspect that he needs to get more in front of the camera, and I get that. But it's me. But any pastor that gets in front of the camera and start talking, you sound like you're preaching. And Warnock sounds like a preacher on every speech that he's speaking. I'm like, you sound good, but and I'm like, okay. So anyway,
yeah, it's
Crockett,
that preacher
I don't
cadence.
care. Yeah, the cadence. It's like scratching chalkboard to me. Like I've been in the church darn near all my life, so I know the cadence and I know his cadence, and you're still doing it. So it's like, I want you to get in front of the camera, but just give me the highlights, because I literally cannot see myself looking at a whole speech from Warnock. I got in, what was that? Maybe a 30-second clip, and it's already, I'm done, bro. Please.
Well, what's wild is, and this is my take, every time I've watched Warnock speak, it's like this bottle of water. That much substance, whole lot of rhetoric. Like, he'll speak for an hour and ain't say a blessed thing.
The Crockett one, I don't like it, but I don't like it for a reason. I don't know what you was talking about. Like, so it sounds like it was a lot of fluff, and I apologize maybe if I actually sat there and listened to the whole thing, but you was going through a crisis, and a crisis so bad that you're crying, and a crisis that's so bad that you're now still crying about it. I'm like, what was the crisis there? Because you're just not. But that may be me. Maybe she did say it in the speech.
Nah,
but
bro, what it was is, remember, she's been doing all that battling in Congress. You know, so she's really tired and stressed out. And Kamala is, even from how high up she sits, she saw through her as a person, and it was a sister helping another sister. That's
okay. That helps a little bit. Still don't care. Clinton, typical Clinton speech. She's good at rallying everybody up and everything like that. I hate that highlight ended with Steve Kerr. I hope that the beginning of the speech was a lot better, but I think Kerr is one of those people who he gives better speeches when it's off the cuff compared to written down, formulated speeches. And just people, there are people just like that. There are people who this show is based off of that. Like, I don't really think this is like that. This is a lot better coming off the cuff than Welcome to Complex Minds.
See, now that ain't nice. That ain't nice. That ain't nice.
But it's off the cuff, and I'm the same way. I can't sit here and read something with the same enthusiasm if it was coming off the cuff. It's like, so first night, very good. Got the point across. Oh, and the lady with the 2025, that's going to be in the forefront for the rest of the convention, and it should be. It should be hammered in to the point of exhaustion. Because what is happening now on the Republican side is that is real silent on it. They're doing their best not to even bring it up. They're just ignoring it. I have no idea what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about, which is funny to me. You're in the government. You're going to tell me that all your staffers, you don't know. Okay, cool.
But hey, Marlon, before you come off with Project 2025, now I'm going to say this. I understand why the Democratic Party is not putting out a lot of policy positions. Okay? Because right now they're winning, right? The energy is behind them. The momentum is behind them. So keep it about the energy. Keep it about the newness and that, right? Keep it so that people can put on to you whatever they think is great. Don't give them something to latch onto. I get it. But the low-hanging fruit here that is annoying to me is you got the Republican 2025 plan. You should have a Democrat 2025 plan spoken in almost the same terms, right? Like, you don't have to go into the policy because this is about sales. This isn't about policy. But they say they're going to do this. Hit 5 things, the 5 scary things about Project 2025, and then 5 glorious things about the Kamala Harris 2025, right? That would just be like awesome to me. Maybe not in the convention. I thought it should have been in the convention, but they could have done it somewhere else. Tracy scoring is, I just gotta take it for what it is. Like,
scoring. And she give it an F in policy. Whatever. It ain't like we didn't see that coming. And Bill,
yeah, he did. You're right, Tracy. Bill needed to cut that speech.
Yeah.
He could have done that in half the time. But,
all right. So with that, no, that was the third night. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the second night of the DNC.
The delegates at the Democratic National Convention, well, they just completed their roll call. And they have nominated Coach Walz and me to be the next Vice President and President of the United States of America.
My girl, Kamala Harris, is more than ready for this moment. She is one of the most qualified people ever to seek the office of the presidency. For years, Donald Trump did everything in his power to try to make people fear us. See, his limited, narrow view of the world made him feel threatened by the existence of 2 hardworking, highly educated, successful people who happen to be black. Who's going to tell him that the job he's currently seeking might just be one of those black jobs? Consider this to be your official ask. Michelle Obama is asking you, no, I'm telling y'all to do something.
We have a chance to elect someone who has spent her entire life trying to give people the same chances America gave her. Someone who sees you And here's you. And we'll get up every single day and fight for you. Donald Trump wants us to think that this country is hopelessly divided between us and them, between the real Americans, who of course support him, and the outsiders who don't. This weird obsession with crowd sizes. It just goes on and on and on. We do not need 4 more years of bluster and bumbling and chaos. We have seen that movie before, and we all know that the sequel is usually worse. America's ready for a new chapter. America's ready for a better story. We are ready for a President Kamala Harris.
As I got to know her better and just fell in love fast, I learned what drives Kamala. And it's what you've seen over these past 4 years, and especially these past 4 weeks. She finds joy in pursuing justice. She stands up to bullies just like my parents taught me to. And she likes to see people do well, but hates when they're treated unfairly.
Unlike my boss, I never wanted to stand at that podium and lie. Now here I am, behind a podium, advocating for a Democrat. And that's because I love my country more than my party. Kamala Harris tells the truth. She respects the American people, and she has my vote.
We have a choice, America, between the man who left our country a total mess and the woman who has spent 4 years cleaning it up. And I think it's time we stop expecting women to clean up messes without the authority and the title to match the job.
All right.
I'll go first on this one. We'll just go back.
Can I say something real quick, though, before I forget it?
Okay.
The last guy,
Yeah.
Chris Farley. That's all. All right. And then I'll wait.
Okay. All right. Michelle Obama is, as far as the reporting go, and I didn't see it until now, stole night 2. Like, hands down, the best speech. Even Obama said, I hate that I had to follow Michelle. So I'm just going to skip over Michelle and Barack because they've always been great speakers. So it's nothing I'm going to say that's, Michelle and Barack could speak wheels around darn near anybody. So, we're done with that. The Grisham, the former, what was that, Secretary of State? Grisham, who is a Republican, is now deciding to back Kamala. And you're on mute. You mute yourself not to talk, and you still talk.
I was trying to answer your question. It's the former press secretary or something like that.
Okay. But as a Republican who is publicly denouncing Trump and her party, hip hop hooray, you have to know how me and Thea's always feel about even the Republicans is on the Democratic side. Wink, wink. Okay, let's move on with that. Kamala's husband, you get what you get. Like, yeah. And did I miss anybody? I don't think so. But so we're down to the last guy, which I knew I shouldn't have let Thea's. I should have let Thea's not talk, so he did forget it. But it is true, to an extent. Now I will put more favoritism into Biden cleaning up Trump's mess than I would Harris, but to say Harris didn't have a hand in it is wrong. She did have a hand in it, but Biden did more of the heavy lifting. Harris did support that, but now we're transitioning over to Harris. So yeah, let's talk more about Harris's than Biden. Night 2 did what it's supposed to do. With of course, you got the Clintons. Ooh, you got the Obamas out there, so you came out guns a blazing on night 2. Get the crowd already rallied up and everything. So night 2 is pretty good. It basically is they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not making it a pageantry. It's the equivalent of, what did you call it, Theas? You called it a pep rally. It's doing what it's supposed to do. This is the political version of the school pep rally. It is rallying people up. It's getting on good vibes, good hopes, dreams, keep hope alive and everything. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. This is also, thank goodness that I did cut a piece of this out, because I think this was the night, and this is a small thing about me. Do not go with the cheap pops. And anybody who don't understand what that means, in the wrestling term, a pop is when you say something or do something to get the crowd exploding. You say something like, I'm so glad to be in North Carolina. And of course, the crowd will go, hey, go, all right. But it's also known as a cheap pop because, yeah, they're going to cheer. The cheap pop, I think, on this night is when you brought out Little John. And I'm like, don't do that. Don't. We got to get something for the young folks. Don't do that. And it's a small thing. It's not going to kill me on that night and everything, but don't. That's just rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I heard the music and I saw him walking down. I went, why? Why? It just.
They got to show they can relate to the young.
Yeah, they got to show they can relate to the young people. Why don't you talk to the young people? But anyway, I'm done. Diz, go ahead with your Chris Farley, and you already said Chris Farley, so let's move on.
Yeah. That's what he seemed like to me. Like, if Chris was still alive, he would be excellent to play that guy. Tone and everything, like the whole thing. But anyway, because I was trying not to even talk about anybody's looks. But that one was just too there. Oh, okay. Yeah, I would concur. I didn't watch it, so I could see how that would land, because it was like Bernie Sanders spoke and then a billionaire spoke right behind him. But I think it's like, whatever, both sides got billionaires, both sides support money. It's just one side is like, let me get all my money, but I don't want to destroy everybody. And the other side is, I'll get all my money and I don't care what happens to you. So there's no real high moral bar for a billionaire, right? But
I've always said that about Republicans and Democrats when it comes to policies. And it all ends with money. And it's the sort of way of saying when it comes to Republicans, it's always, wait a minute, this policy gonna mess with my money? No, I can't do that. The Democrats is always sort of like, is it gonna mess with too much of my money? Let's pass it. It's like that's gonna make too much money. No, we can't.
See, I look at it a little different. I think of it like the model that the American government came out of. It came out of the monarchy, right? They didn't want a king, so they gave us a president. They wanted to weaken the president, so they have the Congress. And then the Congress is created by all the various states. So the real power is kept within the states. But at the end of the day, you still got the one at the top, right? If you look at it like from that standpoint, then you have the king, and then you have the aristocracy or aristocracy, sorry, and then you have the regular people, right? And the regular people have business people, they got farm workers, they got laborers, they got all that. That's all us, right? And we all vote for the aristocracy, right? And then the aristocracy, their job is to keep the rest of us under control and make sure that the people, the king at the top, gets their cut. So it's the same model. We just look at it a little bit cleaner, right? So that to me, that's how I look at it. And like having billionaires, I'm like, look, let's just be real. If we didn't have any billionaires on the Democratic side, yeah, that would be kind of hurtful because you need money. Okay. You need someone that can stroke a dark money check for $2-3 million and not blink and worry about it. You know, regular people don't have that kind of money, right? We just don't. And when we do have money, we're not going to send it to no politician. So, yeah, you know, I'm not with the unilateral disarmament that a lot of people on the left keep talking about, right? Like we're going to, you know, no corporate money. Really? Okay, but you fighting against corporate money. So until you can change the rules, you need to go get that corporate money, right? You just need to be more discerning about the standards that we hold when we go get the money. But everybody's playing in the mud pit. But that's a different thing. Going back to the convention. I don't even remember everybody was in it. But here's the thing about the Obamas. I've always had a love-hate relationship with the Obamas. I love the fact that they're a beautiful family, no scandals, even to this day. The kids are good, the parents are good, very respectful. They're literally Bill and Claire Huxtable in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's who they are. Like that's why people love Michelle so much because she's Claire. She's literally Claire, you know? So I get it. The part that has continued to rankle me or bother me is we give the Obamas some shine that I don't think they deserve. Because they have so much influence and they have so much of our respect, not just in the black community, but across the board. And yet, for the last 8 years, we have been dealing with some of the most horrible situations as far as class issues, race issues, political issues, and they have been silent. They only showed up on a rare occasion for a truly political moment, such as this. So it really annoys me, right? They're going to be busy and active for the next 90 days. And then they're going to go silent again. They're going to go back to play with their money and do their thing as rich people. And I'm like, yo, use a little bit more of that social currency that we've given you and do something with it, right? Be that thing that when they were telling people like me not to criticize President Obama while he was in office, because he'll be able to do more when he gets out. Well, okay, well, you out. I need you to do a little more. I need you to be more present. And you can't say, well, he's doing stuff that we can't see. This is Obama. If he goes out in public and farts, it's going to be on the news. Okay? So that's my contention with them. Like, I love seeing them. I love hearing them. But, you know, okay, but yeah, you know, they could do more. That's my thing with them. Who else was it in this clip you showed? I don't even know nothing about Lil Jon. I ain't even see it. I ain't seen no clips about it. I ain't seen nothing. I just heard about him. Who else was it in there, Marlon?
Was that the one with the press secretary that you was talking about?
Okay, yeah. So that lady, I don't know nothing about her speech. Her speech don't mean nothing to me. But I did like the thing about this Democratic convention. Boy, it was so disciplined, and I love that. Like it wasn't just play to the left, you know. The left is already excited. They got Kamala, they got Biden out the way, they got Kamala in there. Her and Walls have got a great chemistry. The surrogates have decided to, go out in public finally because they were hiding this whole time when Biden was running. You're good there. I think it was masterclass to make sure that you were talking to all those people out there that feel like they might have to vote for Trump just because they've never voted for a Democrat. Building that permission structure, as they say. I think that was smart. All these Republicans. But the Republicans that bother me are the ones who didn't show up. John Kelly. What the fuzzy dice, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're a general, but you straight up a coward, Like this. How you gonna talk all this stuff on background, but you can't come out here and say something in public? You ain't had no interviews. You won't come to the DNC. You're worthless, man. Just go away. Because
I know, and I could like the answer.
Because he's scared?
No, not because he's scared. It's because remember
I don't know if this is me or you, but I can't hear you.
Terrible right now. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, I don't know if it's me or Marlon. So if it's Marlon, then y'all can still hear me. Yeah, the thing about like the problem I have with them is like all the Republicans that speak up are under threat. The least but you got other people with far less that are putting themselves out there, and someone like him, it could mean something. You had Admiral McCraven, he spoke up, right? Kelly should have spoke up. I'm sorry, he just should have. Can you hear me, Marlon?
I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
I hear you now.
So,
yeah.
I'm doing something different.
Yeah. So that's my thing with the Republicans. I think that it's good that they're weaving them in. We always.
I want to interrupt you real quick. Is this a lot better? Is this better?
I can hear you clearly now. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about, but it was freezing over here. It was freezing. I got YouTube opened up. It was freezing on YouTube as well. So you're freezing too?
I was not following.
So it may be a citywide. I apologize. We normally have better shows than this, but hey, it is what it is. Just gonna power through it. I was very surprised that neither Sherwood Brown, Ohio, or John Tester, Montana, spoke when they were in the two most competitive Senate races in 2024 and will determine the majority.
So I admit that I am very ignorant as far as some of these people, Parker. I know the names, but if it ain't Georgia and it ain't the presidential election in this cycle, I'm not even following it because unfortunately people vote down ballot. So if the top of the ballot is going to determine this election. But I'm not surprised from what you just laid out though, because they have to make sure that Kelly was.
Are you saying Kelly was at the DNC?
Maybe I'm saying the wrong name because I'm not talking about the astronaut. I'm talking about the chief of staff for Donald Trump. Isn't that John Kelly? I don't know. But Yeah, but as far as what you were saying, Parker, I get why they wouldn't, because if they're in a very contested situation, they want to seem kind of above the fray, and so they can keep their politics local. Speaking at the DNC makes your politics national, so I could see why they might take a pass.
All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get into day 3. Yeah, this is the Clinton. This is the Clinton one here. Day 3 of the DNC.
Donald Trump is like an old boyfriend who you broke up with, but he just won't go away. He has spent the last 4 years spinning the block, trying to get back into a relationship with the American people. Bro, we broke up with you for a reason.
If Republicans are being intellectually honest with ourselves, our party is not civil or conservative. It's chaotic and crazy. And the only thing left to do is dump Trump.
Welcoming immigrants is not a Democratic or a Republican value. It is an American value. To be pro-immigrant is to be pro-America.
On January 6th, I nearly died protecting the Capitol, and I will do it again for our democracy. The way to preserve it is to elect Kamala Harris, our first female commander-in-chief.
Needing our only son and all of the cherished hostages home is not a political issue. It is a humanitarian issue. There is a surplus of agony on all sides of the tragic conflict in the Middle East. In a competition of pain, there are no winners.
2 days ago, I turned 78, the oldest man in my family of 4 generations. And the only personal vanity I want to assert is I'm still younger than Donald Trump. Donald Trump has been a paragon of consistency. He's still dividing, he's still blaming, he's still belittling other people. He creates chaos, and then he sort of curates it as if it were precious art. You're going to have a hard time believing this, but so help me, I triple-checked it. Since the end of the Cold War in 1989, America has created about 51 million new jobs. I swear I checked this 3 times. Even I couldn't believe it. What's the score? Democrats 50, Republicans 1.
We are not so different from our neighbors. When a house is on fire, we don't ask about the homeowner's race or religion. We don't wonder who their partner is or how they voted. No. We just try to do the best we can to save them. And if the place happens to belong to a childless cat lady, well, we try to get that cat out too.
It's the honor of my life to accept your nomination for Vice President of the United States. When Republicans use the word freedom, they mean that the government should be free to invade your doctor's office. Corporations free to pollute your air and water. And banks free to take advantage of customers. But when we Democrats talk about freedom, we mean the freedom to make a better life for yourself and the people that you love. Freedom to make your own health care decisions. And yeah, your kids freedom to go to school without worrying about being shot dead in the hall. And as the next president of the United States always says, when we fight, when we fight, when we fight, thank you. God bless.
All right. Can I go first this time?
Yep.
All right, so check this out. A couple things. One, Coach Walls, best pick that they could have made. Dude's a natural talent. Just he's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who you are, where you are, you can just feel all right with this dude. Like, he's just a good dude, right? So I'm really, really impressed with that. I never saw that one coming. The immigration piece, I wish they could do a little bit more with it, because they really need to focus on how, responsible immigration policy needs to be done. I know this, like I said, they're not going to do policy conversations, but they need to really humanize the scenario, which they did a little bit with here. Because, you have people who have suited up and served this country in the military, and they still don't have their citizenship, right? You got people who have been here actively contributing for 20, 30 years, still don't have their citizenship. And they want it. Like, it's not like they haven't wanted the citizenship and they just ain't go get it. No, they can't get it. And it really shouldn't. It's like when you make it too hard to become a citizen, you make it much easier to justify doing the things that wouldn't help you become a citizen. That's how I look at it. Right? If you raise the bar too high, then what's the point of trying to climb over that damn thing? So I want to see a better job of that. And people who have problems with, centering or humanizing immigrants, man, there's something wrong with you. Real talk. You can have positions about what we need to do better with the immigration policy, because it's horrible. But that is an American problem. America has had a horrible immigration stance since America'd, right? So there's a lot of work needs to be put in there. Then House Minorities Leader Hakeem Jeffries. I cannot stand to hear that man talk. Oh my goodness, I just can't. Like, he's like the great value version of Barack Obama. Like, it's like if Barack Obama and Jesse Jackson got together and said, how do we teach someone how to talk? You end up with Hakeem Jeffries. Like, all that rhyming, bro, stop it. Okay? We don't need you to go through every day of the week. We don't need you to go through every month of the year. We don't need you to come with a new rhyme for why every day that ends in Y. No, stop it, Hakeem. Just speak to us. Talk to us. If that's how you normally talk, then okay. But, bro, get a new speech coach. The one-sided aspect of the war in Gaza. Now, one of the reasons why it is one-sided, it's not just because of America's alliance with Israel, but that's the big piece. But it's also about what kind of price, what leverage can you put against the American government or the party? And that's how you'll see what kind of responses you get, right? So I liken it to Black people in America being so upset with how America treats us. We have no leverage, okay? We don't own the businesses that can withdraw our money and say, well, we're not going to support you. The only thing we got is our vote, okay? Everybody got a vote, and we ain't but 13%. So they're able to work around us in many cases, except for the Democratic Party, because it's so close right now, they need us to swing stuff. But that's kind of how the Palestinians are here in America. They're a really, really, really small group, and they ain't got money like the Israelis. So the Jewish organizations and the Jewish community are very locked in. Like, they know how to move in lockstep when it comes to political and social issues, and they will extract a price, right? Bowman, anybody, right? So you have to respect their power and their influence. And that's why you see it so one-sided, because they had no Palestinian speakers in this entire DNC. Not one. Right? Which is a fair call out. Why you ain't have one? Right? You have an elected official, but she's so polarizing because of that same situation. So that part annoys me, but I understand why it's happening. But it's still a very dark mark on the Democratic Party. It's not going to really stop what I'm doing, because as much as I love the Palestinian people and I feel a kinship with the Palestinian community, even though there's some issues right now that's being stoked by people who hate both of us to pit us against each other. But I got issues here, right? That I have to fight for. This is my government, so I got to fight against my government here for some of my stuff. So everything's got to go in its place. But what was the other thing I was gonna say? Clinton, he was all right. He's all right. No, he's all right. I think his point that he was making about since 1989, America has created 51 million jobs, and 50 million were made by Democrats and 1 million by Republicans. Yeah, that's a nice soundbite. You could really flesh that out some more. I don't know that they'll ever do it, but yeah, the real issue is Republicans are terrible at economic policy, and they always drive us into a ditch. That's so the reason why the Democrats create 50 million jobs is because they keep having to recover the jobs that got lost. But that's what I had, Marlon.
All right. Okay. From the beginning, Hakeem, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to be mean, because I'm really not trying to be mean. You are a very good politician. I personally just cannot listen to you talk. I can't. You are about on the equivalent of Warnock to me without actually having a cadence. I just can't. Anyway, I just can't do it. Sorry, I just can't listen to you. Stay in politics. You're very good at that. I just don't want to hear you talk. Okay.
Who you talking about?
What was the first person?
Oh, Jeffries.
Jeffries. Yeah. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do you. Waltz. I didn't see it coming. You was on the radar. I really thought, in my heart of hearts, I really thought they was gonna get the governor from Philadelphia. I thought, but for all accounts, he's a really good dude. I mean, I haven't heard anything about it. And Tracy, I am going to get to your comment in a second. Oprah, looking good, Oprah, looking good. But you're a billionaire. You're supposed to. If you're a bad-looking billionaire, I don't know what to say. Your money ain't working for you. Who am I missing? This Clinton. Clinton is Clinton. You can, but Thea is absolutely correct. Me and Tracy said it one time before that you did was it Eisenhower was the last Republican president who actually had a positive U.S. economics. Yeah. Ever since then, though, we have to keep digging the United States out of the economic turmoil that Republicans put us in. So, yeah, it's true. We put billions of jobs. The Democrats put billions of dollars. And don't get me wrong, I will put my hat on that. Slam that in. We talk politics. It ain't supposed to be nice, but let's be real about it. It was the billion jobs that was lost by the Republicans. Like, hey, I lost you the jobs. I found it. Praise me. I'm like, yeah, but it was like and I don't even understand. I don't even understand to this point. You have to be a certain type of person. I don't want to put no mental health title on it at all because I don't want that. I don't want my statement to be lost in translate and lost of what I'm saying. But you have to be a certain type of person to get a surplus of economics when you take office and lose it all. Like all of it. Like you need to really feel like, ooh, I failed as a president because, ooh, you did. They gave you a surplus. Clinton was the last president that we literally had a surplus. We had money to burn. Who the hell thought Bush was going to go hold my beer and burn it? Like, but you keep voting this dude in. You keep voting these people in. And then when they get in office, you know what the rhetoric is going to be. Well, look at the Democrats. Look at how they are looking over the recession. No, they're not looking over it. They're looking over it because they just got elected in. They're not looking over it. They're adopting it. And you people try to give them 90 days to fix it when you have 4 years to destroy it. You did that to Obama. The first 100 days, Obama ain't doing nothing. Bruh. Bush had 4 years to destroy the economy. You want Obama to fix it in what, 100 days? Are you being for real right now? Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. Sorry. Talking about the conference, and we got one more video. Am I missing anybody else?
The rest of them were like just speakers. Like you had the family of the
Speakers,
hostage, and you had
you're right. I don't like that. I don't like that you had not one Palestinian person all 4 nights. Immigration, y'all know how I feel about immigration. I don't even want to get into it, but for all the people that's new, I'll give you just a small, demonstration of what I feel about immigration. For anybody to sit there and say, you go back to your country, unless you're a Native American, my answer has always been you first. It's really just that simple. So, anyway, let's go ahead and get some of these comments out the way. Let's start that. It was Susan. Hey, sounds like y'all talking about Waltz. We were. Very good speaker. Very
hey, Susan.
And hello, Susan. Hakeem Jeffries and Cory Booker.
Oh, I don't even bring up Cory.
Cory is a better speaker than Hakeem, but well,
it's a low bar. That's a low bar. It's like Hakeem is gonna Sesame Street you to death, and Cory is gonna cry at some point. It's just
even the Jewish organizations that are against the Israel policies inside and outside of Israel are well organized.
It's one of the powerful points of having an outside nation state. And I'm not saying that you have dual loyalties and all that. Forget all that the anti-Semitic nonsense. I'm just saying that a lot of our immigrant and a lot of our other cousins here in America, what differs a lot for Black people and indigenous Americans, there is no external power base for us. Like there's no natural, you call it fallback, right? If you're from El Salvador, you got the nation of El Salvador. You Mexican, you got the nation of Mexico. You Israeli, you got the nation of Israel. You know, we ain't got that, right? So, and then we also have 400 years of dysfunction that has been very well ingrained and put in to us. But that's an excuse because we're at the point now where we could do better and we could organize better than what we do. But that's true what you said. Like they're very organized. You know, pro and anti, right? The pro-Zionists and the anti-Zionists within the Jewish cohort.
LOL, if Jesse Jackson and Obama had a Dragon Ball Z fusion dance, I think they would come out as someone better than Akeem Jeffries.
You know, every fusion ain't good though. So I'm just saying, you know, he'd be the
look at some of them shows where the fusion went wrong.
Right. You know, it's like
Akeem Jeffries.
There would be like a magic Super Saiyan type protege that comes out of Obama and Jackson working together, and they have like a whole class. Think of it like this: they have a whole class of people that they are mentoring, and out of that class, you're gonna have something that's better than both of them, and then you're gonna have a king.
Both conventions were terrible and a complete joke. No talk about the working poor, food, desserts, childhood poverty or lack of health care. We deserve better.
So I'm gonna take each of those. Please leave the comment up, please. All right. You can't compare the two as far as they're on the same pair because one, the Republican convention, no matter where you stand on it politically, it was very dark. Okay. It was about how horrible America is and America's falling apart and only I can save you type dark stuff. And then the Democratic Party was all fluff and cotton candy, right? This is all the wonderful things. So no, they weren't both terrible. I think they were both what they were. The Republican convention, for one reason, they thought they were already on a winning shot because at that point they were running against Biden. So, okay, cool. Now, understanding Tracy's political positioning is she hate all of them. So that's a fair critique. No talk about the working poor. The Democrats did talk about making it better for working families and cutting the taxes on working families and getting rid of the taxes on the tips, which I think is, you know what I'm saying? Like much better ways to get at it than cutting taxes on tips. Okay. But you had to do something to neutralize the Republicans trying to get on your turf. But they did talk about the working poor. Food deserts, I don't know how that would have got into. I don't know how that would have got into it. Like you fix the economic situation better than you. Oh wait, food deserts. No, I still wouldn't talk about that. I mean, I think it's a valid point, but that speaks more to a poverty issue and the fact that neither party is truly talking about poverty. So I agree with you there. That's a fair call out. But they are talking about the corporate corruption and greed that is, artificially keeping prices, high. Which coincidentally, after she made that speech and she made that announcement for the second time, all of a sudden you got grocery stores cutting prices. So coincidence? I don't know. Childhood poverty. They did talk about that because they wanted to bring back the child tax credit. So that's another thing the Democrats talk about. Republicans didn't talk about that. Republicans don't talk about food deserts. Republicans don't talk about working poor. Unless they talk about working poor because immigrants took your job, right? They do that. Healthcare. They didn't really talk about that. I agree with you there. But that would be a policy discussion. So I don't know. But they did talk about it. They did. They just didn't go into anything. They said everybody should have health care, right? A little blanket statement. Mm-hmm. So kind of there. Do we deserve better? 100% agree with you. 100%. Now, who's going to give you better? And what's their governing principle? Right? It always comes down to what are your options, and then out of those options, how are they going to perform? How are they going to govern? How can they govern? You know where I'm going with this. So I think it was all fair call outs. I just think that, no, not all fair. Like the ones I already, disprove. But a couple of those fair points, and we deserve better. We 100% deserve better. These two parties, we got to find a way to hold them more accountable, which is why at the end of the election, I'm once again asking y'all to join me and people like myself as we take away our our affiliations. We're not going to be registered as Democrats or registered as Republicans or even registered as, well, if you have to switch to independent, then use independent. But don't go vanilla, go flavorless. And let's try to do a little disruption that way. But I am challenging anybody who thinks that these things are so bad. What's your alternative?
All right, and my answer is exactly what Susan is saying. Well, Tracy, it's not really what conventions are for. Conventions are supposed to unite the party, which is exactly what they're supposed to do. Like we said at the beginning of the show, conventions, Republicans or Democrats, is just one big, huge pep rally. The Republican convention is more of, we're going to doom and gloom you to the point where we're the only ones that can save you. So hoop and holler on that. Save you. Look at what they've done. Look at what we've done, and blah, blah, blah. And the Democratic is the hope, dream, keep hope alive type pageantry. When you want to talk about policy, Tracy, is when they have their first debate. And if those situations or those questions are not brought up, then yeah, I agree with you. We really have an issue. Like, we really, really have an issue. None of those are brought up once. And it does. You have three. You have two, but Trump will have you believe it's three, but whatever. I'm not going to get into it with that. I'm not. Maxine Waters at 86 sound better on night one than Bill Clinton at age 78.
So and now
he is a different cat. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's funny. I don't know how to even say this. Everybody don't age the same way.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Maxine Waters
and guys, we don't have the same life expectancy anyway, no matter what ethnicity you come from. So there's a lot of marks running against, Bill and Joe. Right? They already kind of define the odds a bit. So I think, to me, Biden seemed real shaky, but Clinton seemed fine. I mean, he's like an old man. He seemed like a healthy old man.
And this is the deal that y'all have to understand sometimes.
Thank you, Parker. Good point.
They're old. And I know y'all, I don't know, y'all put politicians and athletes and actors and everything on these where you look at them and look how shaky it is and look how slow their speech is. And yes, they're old. You will be there one day. The only thing that's going to stop you from not being there is death.
Yeah, ain't but one cure for old age.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Oh my God, he sounded so shit. Yeah. 70s. Yeah.
So you're moving the goalposts there, Tracy. Yes, it would be better if it was free, but now if it was free isn't a real thing, right? So there's still a cost somewhere. So this is me assuming, but you're really pushing more towards a universal healthcare, which I agree is where the discussion needs to truly strongly sit. But at this stage of the campaign, you need to keep that in your pocket. And then when you become president, start making that noise. But getting it down to $35 when people were paying over $100, that's huge. Huge. Okay, so I'm sorry, but that's a major thing. I just can't sit here and say it's not good enough.
Economic thing between life and death. Do we want certain medicines to be free? Shit. But we didn't start off at that point. We started off at point of medicines that you just could not afford to get. Period.
Yeah. Like, I just like I get it, but I'm like, when people say free what? You know, because it's still someone had to produce it, someone's got to package it, someone's got to distribute it. Like, there are costs in here. So if it's free, then that means it's just free to the end user. So the costs are contained. Where are the costs going to be contained? Are they going to be contained by the company that made it? They're just going to make it for free? Well, now your quality is going to go whoop. So, so that means all the cost gets pushed into the government. So that means the government's got to pay for all of it, which brings up the cost. So now our taxes have to be adjusted. Okay, yep. Well, where are the taxes going to fall? Well, most of the people who are talking about free are saying, well, tax the rich people. Okay. But there's this many rich people, that many poor people. Like, rich people hold 99% of the wealth. So you go to that few people and say, we're going to tax you more. You still aren't going to pull out the money you think you're going to pull out. So I'm 100% on board with people who want universal health care. I have some certain issues with it from how people are approaching it right now, but I'm all for it. I will row my boat in that direction with everybody else. But getting your insulin down to $35 when I've seen people not be able, I'm standing at the pharmacy trying to get my medicine, and I'm seeing people who are getting told that their prescriptions are going to run $500 and some odd dollars to pick up. They're probably doing this every 30 days. You know, I'm sorry. So I'm all right. If you take my cost down from 100 to 35, I'm a clap for that all day, every day. And at least let's sit in that for a second before we start, you know, about the free stuff, because ain't nothing free. We got a lot of work to get to free. And I think we need to do that work, but we got work to do.
All right. The last night of convention, night 4. Let's go ahead and get into it.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
Okay, so listen. It's come to my attention that there are some folks who struggle or pretend to struggle with the proper pronunciation of our future president's name. So, hear me out. Confusion is understandable. Disrespect is not. And what are you here to do?
To teach you how to say your auntie's name.
Okay. So, how do you pronounce it?
First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la.
Groceries, gas, housing, healthcare, taxes, abortion. Trust Donald Trump and JD Vance to look out for your family? Shoot, I wouldn't trust them to move my couch.
In many ways, Donald Trump is an unserious man. But the consequences of putting Donald Trump back in the White House are extremely serious.
The Republican Party is no longer conservative. It has switched its allegiance from the principles that gave it purpose to a man whose only purpose is himself. Donald Trump is a weak man pretending to be strong. He is a small man pretending to be big. He's a faithless man pretending to be righteous.
I will be a president who unites us around our highest aspirations, a president who leads and listens, who is realistic, practical, and has common sense, and always fights for the American people. From the courthouse to the White House, that has been my life's work.
This election is about every drop of water that we consume and every breath we breathe. Fighting the climate crisis is patriotic. And unlike Donald Trump, our patriotism is more than some damn slogan on a hat. It's about actually giving a damn about the people who live in this country.
President Biden and I are working to end this war such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination. So let's get out there, let's fight for it, let's get out there, let's vote for it, and together, let us write the next great chapter in the most extraordinary story ever told. Thank you. God bless you, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all.
Okay, my turn. It ended the way I thought it would end. Now you got the crowd hooping and hollering and all good feels and everything. So my lovely wife always says that I'm just too freaking cynical on things you know that's gonna happen. I accept the nomination for Democratic candidate for the presidency of the United States. Duh. What was the point of you even being here? We knew you was gonna do that, but that's me being cynical again. I like the idea of dipping your toes into climate change. I appreciate that. I also like how I'll go back to that in a minute. The kid thing. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you said I didn't hear your last sentence that you said.
Oh, the kids coming explaining how to say Kamala did his thing. I like that, but you know, again, to me, it's like a cheap pop. So yeah, you know, they're gonna hoop and holler on that one. I like Harris if I was to take her on face value, that we're not just only trying to end the war in Gaza, but we're trying to make it the Palestine state to be its own standing, secure, governing state. So it's not like people keep saying, they're going to end the war. They need to stop the war. I agree with you. But then what? And that's a good thing. I really need y'all to dig a little deeper when y'all say stuff, because y'all just like, you know, I put it in a medical term. You know the whole thing about if you get stabbed with a knife, the first thing is always for you to pull that knife out because, ouch, this hurts. On a medical term, you are not supposed to pull that knife out. When you say you want to end the war, which is a good thing because it hurts. But if you pull that, stop the war, you pulling that knife out. You literally made things worse because you have no backup plan afterwards. What happens after you stop? You have nothing other than, okay, ain't nobody shooting no more. Ain't nobody. For how long? I'm just going to throw that out there. Maybe this will get to your head. For how long? because you have not secured the enemies. You think because you stopped the war, Israel is not going to look at the Palestine as being an enemy no more? You're delusional. They're still going to look at them as an enemy. So you get what, 1, 2 years?
You don't even get that, bro.
Probably not. Probably not.
Because if I'm the Palestinians, what you think I'm gonna do the moment the war stops? I'm coming for you. Because this ain't about right and wrong. You know, at the end of the day, I had nothing to do with the attack that happened, and yet all my family members are dead. Right? I had nothing to do with whatever Hamas decided to do on all their infrastructure. I ain't got no control over that. It's like me saying I got control over what the U.S. Army does as an individual. I don't have no power over that. But I lost my home. I have no way to earn a living. You blew up, you know what I'm saying? I lost children. I lost friends. I lost family. You've just created an enemy. Right? So Israel is, in a manner of speaking, they kind of feel like they have to keep coming. One, because Netanyahu doesn't want the war to stop because then he end up going to jail. But they feel like they have to keep coming, the same reason that America continues to attack and assault the people that it views to be its enemies, because the fear is they're gonna come back. Okay? They understand that damage has been done and these people are going to want revenge. So Israel continues to keep their foot on the neck because they're afraid of what happens. Right? So like you were saying, yeah, you can stop. That's why I get so upset. I get so irritated with people who talk this nonsense when they talk about Ukraine or when they talk about Palestine. And they be like, well, stop sending them weapons. Just stop. Oh, okay. You claim the reason why you want us to stop sending weapons is because you don't want to continue to fund these killings. So when we stop sending the weapons and the killings accelerate, where are you on this life thing now? Right? Where's it now? Right? Because the people who are going to get wholesale slaughtered are, in the Ukraine sense, they're going to be the Ukrainians. You don't care? Just as long as ain't your money going over there, that's your thing. And then, this will get me. People who talk about, well, that's my money going over there to do these things. How much you paying taxes? Each of the people that I've heard from that have been so high and mighty about these things, because I agree, war is a horrible thing. We shouldn't be in war, all that stuff. I agree with you on the theory level, but you don't hardly pay no taxes. If you add up what you pay out in a year in taxes, it's a drop in the bottle. You paid for half. I don't know. Maybe you bought some. I don't know what your little bitty taxes paid. Okay, but anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, the war needs to end. But one of the things that continues to annoy me is when people act like America can just tell another country what they're gonna do, and and that other country's gonna be like, okay, yes, sir. Right? If America turns its back on Israel, Israel will go to someone else. And then America has no influence. Then on top of that, they say, well, America should help Palestine have their own state. I'm actually of the opinion America need to leave Palestine alone and let its neighbors help Palestine, right? Because there are a lot of neighbors who are willing to put money and resources into Palestine and help them rebuild their city and help them have their own stance. But America will never allow that to happen, no more than Israel will, because America needs Israel. America needs its operations. It needs its covert activities. It needs its ability to send weapons and military. It's a very important strategic partner. So America can't put the money in Palestine because they got to choose Israel for reasons way beyond humanitarian reasons. So it's like, it's so much deeper than people try to make it. And it's sad because these are real people dying out here.
And let me answer this question real quick, Diaz. all that greatest nation on earth stuff give me the creeps. Let me give you a two, Susan. And this is, like I said, my opinion. Is the United States the greatest nation on earth? Yeah, it is. I never said it wasn't. What is creepy is how we became the greatest nation on earth. And that, yeah, I agree with you, is very creepy. What always made me creep out on the United States is we always give this, we're the greatest nation on the planet. Yes, you are. But then you don't want to shut up. And you want to be the righteous. We're the most righteous nation. We're the most humane nation, because you always got to say you're the most humane nation on the planet, because look at XYZ country and everything. Yeah. Bruh, miss me. Just please. I know the crap you did. I know what you did after Pearl Harbor, where you decided that you were just going to round up every Asian that looked different from you because you just wasn't sure. So you're protected. And please believe me, I know you didn't treat them humane. And if you want to go further back, we can go further back for the people who watching this show for the first time. The greatest nation on the face of the planet, you founded a nation that wasn't yours, aka you founded land that wasn't yours. You took it with the most horrific ways you possibly could think of. You built it with the most horrific things you could think of. So, Susan, it is a two-pronged thing. Is the United States the greatest nation on the planet? Yes, they are. How they got there is not.
Well, Marlon, here's my thing. Greatest nation on earth is kind of like how I think about race or ethnicity. I don't see anything wrong with loving who you are, for all your light and your dark, right? So, like, I was like, is America the greatest nation on earth? Americans are fully in their rights to say that America is the greatest nation on earth. And Chinese people are in their rights to say that China is the greatest nation on earth, and so on and so on and so on and so on. What makes America so unique, in a manner of speaking, is you become an American and you're an American. Yeah, we got hyphens, but that's because we have racial hierarchies within the nation. But as far as what you are, you're American. But if I go to China and I become a Chinese citizen, am I Chinese now? No. I become a Japanese citizen. They gonna call me, they're gonna call my black behind Japanese? No. Because most of the other nations on the planet, their identity is mixed with their ethnicity. America is unique in that it literally is built on top of a lot of immigrants. And there are some of us who are here that are never immigrants, but it's the American uniqueness that it's a bunch of immigrants. I think maybe the only other one I can think of that you get to just become whatever it is if you move to Canada, you can become a Canadian, right? But so I think that's one of the reasons that it's cool that people say that. And I don't have no qualms if somebody came to me and said, I'm Vietnamese and Vietnam is the greatest nation on earth. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
American, right? You've been out there for 40 years.
Right.
Yeah.
You're American. You've been in Denmark for 40 years, but are you considered a Dane? Like, not if you're willing to be called a Dane, but do the people there call you a Dane? Right. So it's like that's where I think that's one of the things America does have a little bit of a leg up on. But genocide is part of the American story.
You're trying to erase.
Right. And race has always been that differentiator in America. There's race all around the world, but America, another problem in America is America has a hard time looking at itself. So if you ask certain people in power, they'll just pretend like that's not an issue. And like, no, it's very much an issue.
Yeah.
But I think that last day you were talking about, night 4, masterclass, very good. I got no complaints about it. Elizabeth Warren, man, we missed a chance of having her as president, you know, but hey, that's how life works. I think it was a really good, I think it was a great last day. And I think overall it was a great convention. I think it did what it set out to do. And it didn't lean so heavy on Democrat that the disaffected Republicans don't feel like they have somewhere that they can go vote. I can't hear you, bro.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. My grade is A-, and minus is obviously the things that I told you about. I don't like the
Don't know if that's me or
like
you,
that.
man, but we didn't hear nothing you just said.
Oh, God. I don't know what's going on today. This is terrible. Can you hear me now? Okay. I gave it an A-, and I don't want nobody to, oh, you thought it was the greatest convention. No. I give it an A- because it did what it was supposed to do. It did it. Across the board, you didn't overstep. You did what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to rally the troops. Kinsinger said what he said when he put it out very bluntly. My party is not united. And I'm putting words in his mouth. He didn't say it, I'm sure. But he pretty much just said, our party is pretending to be united. It's not united, and it was because of Trump. And the Democratic convention showed, no, we are united. We're on one front. We're on one mind, and that's what we're doing. So A- for me for just small little personal reasons, but it did what it was supposed to do, and it did it perfectly. All right, there's last word.
Yes. Also, if you factor in the consideration that to pull off something this big takes a lot of time, and it's only been a little over a month since the head of the ticket flipped. So there were some hiccups here and there, but that's because you made a really big change. Yeah, so that's what I was getting at, Susan. Yeah, it's like that's your home, but it's like, well, yeah, but that's your home. But it's like there's a certain thing. Like even though my people are treated like we're on a permanent guest visa here in America, no one can take away the fact that I'm an American, and even people who hate my people have to admit I'm an American, right? Like there's no quibbling there. That's why I was. That's one of the good things about the country. A lot of issues though. So yeah.
All right, everybody. That is our first hour. We are way over, but I'm keeping my promise of not rushing when we go to the serious part. But we're like 45 minutes over. I'm going to be doing some work on my side to try to shore up this internet. So 3-minute break to reboot and refresh, and we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
Living for weekends, wishing I could take a break from this world. Running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I always stay dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, finally, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, higher to above you. I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, I wanna be free, finally.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Cause Marlon, oh hey Marlon, look, you're crystal clear. Hey bro.
Oh, cool. I rebooted the whole computer. Without further ado, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy in all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliaEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go to Thea's website, OurUnitedCore.com. Communities Build Movement. And if you need me, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. And let's go ahead and get into the Mama Heart Hour programming discussion for people who programming going forward. Of course, next week is the last weekend of the month, so we will not be doing a show. But because there is a holiday coming, we will be having a Friday night vibe with Anna, in which we will have the sexy potato story with an update. I also decided maybe y'all may not want to see Saturday Night Vibe when we come back off hiatus, because I am going to show this freaking story. So we're going to do the Saturday Night Vibe with Theas and Anna about the sexy potato. For us, maybe we'll come up with some new things to think about and talk about and everything else. But things I really do not believe that you ever saw that story that we just talked about and made jokes about it. But I do not think you
It's a
actually saw it.
potato. I'm okay if I miss out on the potato.
No, you got no. It is a fantastic story. It's one of the best stories we ever had. I can't wait. Susan is saying I was getting ready to cry, thinking y'all was all done. No, Susan, you may not have been here when I said it, but I found myself rushing everybody to get into the second hour when it comes to Radical Truth to Power, and remembering myself that Radical Truth to Power, differently from Saturday Night Vibe, is more serious, more political, more social things. So for the first hour, I am no longer going to rush anybody. Everybody's going to get their say. All comments are going to be talked about or at the very least shown. So yeah, we're not done. We're into the second hour now, but the first hour is done when it's done, because we're getting too close to the election for me to go, okay, y'all, we're going to get into the second hour so we can talk about these crazy ass people. I'm not doing that. So I'm going to take my time the second hour. And are you off on Saturday and Sunday next week? Yes, we're off Saturday and Sunday of next week. We will be on next Friday, though. Friday. So.
This month went by fast.
Yeah. I'm into the American experiment. Let's expand it.
I'm not quite sure where you're saying, but I'll give you my spin.
The deal is we fought the Americans. That's America in a nutshell. Is always we are doing the American experiment, like with such a melting pot of all nations that we're still experimenting what we can do and everything else.
Yeah, I dig.
Yes, go ahead, because I got to think of how.
I'm saying, like, the great thing about the thing about an experiment is you establish a baseline and then you manipulate the variables, right? So, American experiment, cool. Assimilation didn't work, so let's shift from melting pot to the gumbo pot, right? And bring all your flavors, bring all your colors, bring all your different textures, and let's make America just this amazing, great thing. That's an ongoing challenge for America, because how do we acknowledge the darkness and the negative part of our history, as well as the great parts of our history, because both exist, and build on that to create a new future. And I think one of the things that has to be done, reparations, first of all. We need to have an intelligent, serious series of discussions and policy proposals for reparations for descendants of enslaved Africans. I'm not sure how it will be rolled out. I have ideas, but I wouldn't go into that here. But that's a big thing. We need to actually look at slavery. America acknowledges slavery happened, but it's never looked at it. It never looks right at the racial issues. It just hopes that one day we'll get enough distance and we'll get past it. So we need to face that. We need to face that. We need to deal with the fact that America still has colonies. The fact that America still has colonies is a problem. So either make them states or set them free to attach to whatever nation they may choose. And it's because America's not sure that they'll all choose America that they won't allow them to dictate their futures. And then America needs to definitely not unilaterally disarm. I don't think that's smart. I mean, we're a major power because we do major power type stuff. So yeah, we got bases around the world. Yeah, we need them because we've pissed off a lot of people. So we need to be ready to fight whenever we need to fight. But then also, I think we can learn a lot from the Chinese model and use soft diplomacy more. You still need your hard diplomacy. You still need to let people know I'll knock your block off, right? America's ready to fight at any given time, but do some more of that soft stuff, right? Less manipulation through like covert disruption and more manipulation through, bribery, good old fashioned bribery and stuff. So I think that's part of how you expand on the American experiment. But America's gonna America. It has to go through its growth pains. But those are the big ones I think we need to look at.
I guess my issue is, wow, the internet is absolutely up and running. That is fantastic. All I need to do is go through a whole hour looking like an idiot. Cool. So I think the word that hindered me from talking about it was the word expand. The United States of America never stopped experimenting, and that's obviously, duh, because they said it so many times. What I have an issue with, and I have an issue because it hurts people, it decimates people, is the bad experiment moments. I am under, and I'll take this in account of when I say bad experiments. Trump, during the 2020 election, would have won if he could have handled the COVID situation. He had a blueprint. All he had to do was follow it. My opinion, he would have won in 2020. And the experiment is what happened between 2016 and 2020. That's an experiment of ruling instead of representing, of taking power from the American people. That's an experiment. What can we do to be more of a ruling class than a representative class? Trump, in a better, with a lack of a better term, fucked it up. I mean, the dude was given a layup. However sport thing you want to do, a layup, a softball, however you want to say it, and he fucked it up. The Republican people right now who is gun-ho against Trump, and I'm not for Trump, and Trump did this, and Trump did this. Want to make it perfectly clear, they're not good people. They're not mad at Trump. And like I said, again, my opinion, they're not mad at Trump because he is messing up the Republican and the American way and blah, 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 and everything else. They're mad at Trump because you fucked up my election. And I don't even know you or your people. But I digress. All of it is an extension, because the extension is what I'm saying. It can't be extended because we're still doing it. An experiment is a formulation of this type of material to this type of material. Did that work? Nope. Okay, we're going to use this type of material. Did that work? Marginally. Okay, how can we make it better? You can use this. Okay, did that work? Yeah, but it's unsustainable. It's unsustainable. Okay, let's try this. Okay, well, that worked. Okay, well, but United States is so evolving into different types of politics, socialism, races, international for always changing. So that's why I was kind of trying to put, get my mind right when you say expanding. Well, the United States is going to always be an experiment. We're going to be an experiment for every generation that comes. Every generation is going to think differently. The generation behind me right now, they may be more Democrat, they may be more liberal, or at the very least, they're more liberal thinking. But be happy, be glad. But you don't know what the hell the generation behind them are. They may be more conservative. They may be more. Yeah, I'm not with your beatnik way of thinking. I want to go back to more simpler. We don't know. So that's why I said, I apologize. I had to get my mind right. It was the expansion of it when it's never going to end. It's not. It's too many variables.
Yeah. America could end.
America could end, but I don't think we can expand because it's forever changing.
Yeah, and there's always going to be the push and pull across history, like you were saying. We don't know what the next generation and the generation after that. But everybody gets their turn, So we'll see. And then with the Supreme Court, just really, what they did. But
I don't quite know how to express it. I get what you're saying, Marlon. Trump would have been the end of the experiment, in my opinion.
See, I think that we're prone to think that way because we're living in it.
That's what I was thinking.
And,
we have never experienced a president like Trump.
I don't know, have we?
Well, no, we haven't. I'll tell you what's so funny about Trump. I'll tell you what's so funny about Trump. Trump probably wouldn't have did anything that Reagan wouldn't have done. The only issue was Reagan knew how to shut his damn mouth. And Trump what?
Reagan, fell into undeniable senility.
Yeah.
So, he had that, Trump is also in the throes of senility, but he's not so far gone that, it's that blatant. But I'm like, Nixon, there was a case to be made that Nixon was like Trump, because Trump basically took Nixon and took Reagan and took both of their playbooks and said, let's run it again. So he's not truly new. America made it through Andrew Jackson. America made it through who was that dude? I don't know if it was Roosevelt, whoever it was, wanted to run for 3 terms, right? So America's
was Roosevelt.
Yeah, America's, it's been through some times, and it's going through one right now. And there's going to be a difference of, one thing. We have to make sure we're not getting lulled into the trap of thinking this is a 50-50 fight, because it's not. It feels like a 50-50 fight, but it's not a 50-50 fight. It's like a 70-30 fight. But the problem is that 30, because of how our politics are structured, they have about 50% of the say. Right? So the Electoral College gives them an outsized advantage that makes everything seem like it's 50-50. So that's something I really think America needs to look at. But ever since the civil rights era, and that's a stretch even for me to put it there, America is incapable of doing big things. Right? America hasn't won a war since then. America hasn't invested in its own citizenry since then. America hasn't built a big thing since then, America has really just been coasting and sliding down because we're too busy fighting amongst each other.
Yep. All right, so apparently we got some 2 hours outside of Susan's house getting it on, and they drowned out what I was saying, not the fault of the internet. The first hour was the internet. Like, I'm clear. Let me look. Yeah, I'm crystal clear and everything else. But boy, that first hour was rough. Living in Europe, Hitler is still the ghost he always was. Germany is one of the countries that I admire the most, because they are the country that despise their history. They're not. I'm not saying they're hiding it, but you can't get away with freedom of speech when it comes to Nazi and all those other things. Not in Germany, like,
because Germany looked at itself.
Yeah, Germany was the people who said Germany is what I want America to do. Who literally said, "Wow, we fucked up."
And let's do something about it.
Yeah, America's not ready to do that.
Yeah, America be like, "Oh, we messed up," but that was back there. Germany, but also Germany was in a different position too, because Germany they lost the war. That's the big one. Their nation was destroyed. That's another. So they had to basically become pariahs for a while and try to get back into the global community. America's never had to do that. So America is like, yo, yeah, we made mistakes. We did some horrible things, but what you gonna do? What you gonna do? History is rough. Let's keep going. And that's just how it goes. So
Reagan also had a much higher percentage of America behind them than Trump. And yeah.
To an extent, yeah. But yeah. I mean, because he did run the 50 states thing. I think he had like 48 states or something like that.
So he didn't have to
But we also didn't have a media. Yeah, we didn't have the media running like it is now. Back then, up until George W. Bush, the media protected the president. And then with W, the media turned against the president. So, and became its own thing. So I think that was a big part of why Reagan was able to do so well, so to speak.
All right, everybody, let's get into it. Am I the a-hole? Been holding on to the story for a while now, and I wanted to get Thea's perspective on it. So let's go ahead and get into it. John Yoon.
Me and my wife, who's 32, are expecting our first bundle of joy. We're absolutely thrilled. I personally can't wait to be a dad. The due date is April 21st. We're from Ireland. My wife has been a huge fan of the South Korean boy band SHINee since 2008. Their music apparently got her through a lot of tough times. Jong Hyun was a member of this group. He unfortunately passed away in 2017. From what I've read online about him, he seems to have been an amazing guy. My wife was devastated when she found out about his death, and she told me that when we have a kid, if he's a boy, she's gonna name him Jong Hyun in his honor. At the time, I didn't really take her seriously. The time has come though, and she's very serious about it. She was not joking. She even picked out the meaning because it actually depends on the Chinese characters you see. Zhang, which means lineage, ancestry, ancestor, clan, and Hyun, which means virtuous, worthy, good, able, etc. She speaks Korean, I don't. I love how the name sounds. I like the nickname Jong and the meaning behind it. But the issue is we're both 100% white. I'm literally blonde with green eyes, and she's ginger with blue eyes and fair skin. We are legit as white as they come. I told her that I don't think this is appropriate because we have 0 Korean blood in us. And she said that's not a problem since it's cultural appreciation and not appropriation. She told me she doesn't want to compromise when it comes to the first name, and I can just pick whatever middle name I want and she's going to be okay with it. She said that this name means too much for her to give up on it. Jonghyun is her favorite singer who was born in the same year as her, and our son is going to be born in the same month as him.
Okay, this is a 3-prong, so I'm going to get through mine really, really quick. First of all, when it comes to anything that important as a permanent situation such as names, it's a 2 yes and 1 no decision. You need both of y'all to decide. You just can't up and decide, okay, this is what I'm going to name them, and we done. No, that's not going to work. 2, I think you're setting yourself up for failure because you just feel like, I feel like that because you named your child after your favorite musician, that somehow he's going to be sort of like your favorite musician. That's really unfair. And 3, and most importantly, and this is to all the parents, y'all some selfish ass people to be giving these damn names out to the kids knowing they gonna get fucked up. Because kids are mean. Little kids are really, really mean. So you got this little white kid walking down the aisle with whatever hair, and then you sitting there saying, well, what's your name? John Un. You don't think they're gonna go do some shit. But you ain't gonna care because you ain't gonna catch that shit. You may, slightly, but you'll brush it off. If you're talking about a kid that's in school for, I don't know how long, 6 hours a day for 18 years or 12 school years. That's selfish of you. That's not right. But if I was just going to narrow it down to the most simple thing, things like that, names, having a house, buying a car, blah, 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 is a 2 yes and 1 no decision. You should have had a backup. But I ain't never, this is a personal thing, I ain't never felt like that for any singer to name my child after them. I'm sorry, what? Nobody in entertainment is going to dictate my decision on how I'm going to name my child. That's great. That's wonderful. Still don't know them. Nah, I'm good. But I'm done.
Well, I think the woman needs some counseling because she, like you said, she's trying to make a point using the kid's name. Nah. And but it's like, yo, if she was using the child's name and saying I'm gonna name him, you know, Levert or something like that, you know, people wouldn't blink so much, right? Is what you socially find acceptable. It's only because it's Korean, so you end up like it's a jarring contradiction, right? It's like, yeah, you know. So yeah, I think she's being selfish, and I don't think she's thinking about the child. She's only thinking about herself. That's why I say she needs some counseling. She needs some. There's something that ain't right with her, that she's that fixated on somebody like that. But I mean, if the names weren't such a cultural contradiction, I guess I don't know if that's the right word. Nobody would even think about it. How many little Kobe's are running around right now? How many little MJs are running around right now? You know there's gonna be a few Baracks running around right now. All right. How many Jesuses are there in the world? Okay. So it's just what you find to be culturally appropriate. You know, Asian names are very distinctive. So yeah. So I don't know.
But Theas, are you not named after a basketball player, right?
Yeah. I was named after Reggie Theus.
Really?
But that's his son, ain't it?
Yeah.
That's different. Yeah. He got drafted to the NBA, played with his dad.
You didn't cover RFK Jr. dropping out. One, because I don't.
RFK Jr. was always a plant and a joke to begin with.
Yeah, that's why we ain't talking about it. I don't even care that much. But anyway, positive story of the week. Theas, I'm going to actually give you a layup today. I didn't think about it till now because you always pick on that theme music for a positive story of the week. You always make jokes about the positive story of the week theme music. So I'm going to give you a layup. Now, one, I say I give you a positive story of the week, and sometimes that can be in the form of a sweet, wholesome story, but sometimes it could just be funny as hell.
So this happened a few weeks ago, but I'm still not over it, so I thought I would share. A few weeks ago, my dad walked in from work with an unlocked Amazon Fire Stick thinking that he'd hit the jackpot. My mom and stepdad are both big into films and shows, so they thought this would allow them to end their subscription to Netflix. As with most parents, mine are fairly clueless when it comes to technology, so whenever they buy something new like this, they call on me, their 27-year-old son, to come help them out. I happily agreed, but warned them that not only was this device against the law, but also pretty terrible. So I get to their house, plug it in, and take a seat between the two of them on the sofa. This isn't a massive sofa, so we're pretty close to one another. My mom is also partially deaf, so whereas most households would probably have their volume set at, let's say, 20, in this house it's usually at around 50. Most of the time I'm there, I can't hear myself think if the TV's on. That's how loud it usually is. Remember this for when things hit the fan. If you've ever set one of these up before, you know that they're pretty much plug and go, so I had it set up in under 5 minutes. I was asked to show them how to navigate the different parts of the film, series, etc. Thankfully, everything we tried to watch either didn't work or was just unwatchable, so they were happy to get rid of it. That was until my mom asked to see the live TV option and asked if she could see the quality of that. Sure, why not? Again, it'll be terrible and they'll be disappointed. I just put it on channel 1 and straight away you could tell that the quality was awful. I went to hit back so I could exit out of the program and get rid of the Fire Stick, but I guess I pressed the wrong button. I pressed channel down. Oh god. As soon as I clicked the button, it went to the very last channel. A live stream of a website that ends with the word hub. Now's the time to remember how close we're sitting and how loud this TV currently is. Then OP describes what's happening, which I'm absolutely not gonna read. The squelching, slapping, and moaning noises will forever haunt me. I didn't know what to do. My mom was screaming, the girl on the TV was screaming. I looked at my stepdad and his jaw was on the floor. I frantically started hitting any button I can to try to get me out of this nightmare. But for a good few seconds, nothing happened. It finally turns off, and my mom and stepdad look at each other and just burst out laughing. I'm sitting here in the middle of them both feeling younger and more embarrassed than I ever have in my life. Still now, I can't go to the house without them bringing it up as a massive joke, when I'm truly still haunted by the whole thing.
Is this a real one now?
No, it's not a real one.
I don't believe none of this. And if you push down on the remote, and first of all, I don't know how that would even happen. I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about TV nowadays. But let's say that does happen. And you press down and it goes to the hub. Then press up. Right? I mean, it's like he has so much extra descriptions in his story about the screaming and the slapping and the clapping. That only happens if you stay on the channel. Press up. If you did one thing to get here, do the opposite action to get out of there. You know? And then like your parents made you. I ain't worried about this. You don't know. Your dad probably been watching dirty movies for decades. So whatever. I don't believe the story.
I believe the story, and probably the only reason I believe the story is they was laughing. They probably giving OP hell because OP gave them hell when he was a younger kid. I give my kids hell on things that they do now because yeah, we ain't the only one that's gonna be sitting here being embarrassed or feeling bad and everything else. I give them hell on a lot of things. I think I had to defend. I didn't say it to my granddaughter to her face because I do not ever want to undermine my wife and her husband's parenting. Never want to do that.
Your wife and her husband?
Because one of the things that she said was, and her room is always dirty, so that's why she don't punch me. And I just looked at her with, your room was never clean once. Not down one time. Ever. Ever. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Now you upset? Oh, I get it, because it's now your house. Oh, okay. When it's our house, fuck the dirty clothes and the plates and everything under the bed. Oh, okay. Because you didn't have to deal with it. Yeah. I agree. I love this story. I'm pretty sure your parents gonna be fucking with you for a long time. And I agree with this. They busted out laughing because it's like you are the only one in this room that feels uncomfortable. They took it as, oh, this was an accident and everything else. Okay. They probably weren't even laughing at what you did on the TV. They're laughing at you by the way you look. And you just gave them ammunition for every time you come over there. So, oh well. You should be embarrassed. You should also get over it eventually too. But yeah, you should be embarrassed. And from a parent for so many years, good. You'll get over it. I got about 50,000 stories with them kids did to me and my wife. That's a point where my kids usually say too much information, mom. My kids have a dark sense of humor. They just look at me like, ew. But then again, they think I'm a nerd anyway, so they're not gonna say anything. OMG, I know exactly what kind of device this guy is talking about. They are basically a scam. If you don't get it from a reputable place, yeah, it is. But I haven't used a Fire Stick in I don't know how long, and we still have a Fire Stick somewhere in this house, somewhere on somebody's um, TV. No, I know exactly where it's at. It's in the room where my wife sews, and she hasn't been in that room in I don't know how long. It's just sitting up there on the wall, the TV itself, sitting there up on the wall collecting dust. Meanwhile, I talked to her about that. I be getting off work, coming in, trying to put that TV on the wall, and now she don't even use it. Like, look, we need to talk. Use it. I don't believe the story because he said they went to a live TV auction that happened, but the thing he was embarrassed to see was supposedly from a website. I'm not gonna lie to you, Parker. That kind of threw me. That did kind of throw me. I don't believe that the hub is a channel. I don't know enough about Fire Stick to actually make that. Anyway, you and this don't think it's real. I think it's real. And Mafia video of the week. Veronica is back, and yeah, I'm playing this video because I know I know managers like this.
Thank you so much for coming in today. I know that it's been a few days since we had that meeting, but I needed to see what happened with this presentation. Veronica, you're saying that you sent it over to Jamie, right? I see you want to just bypass the fact that you were going to call me out in front of everybody, but then when it came to calling out Jamie, you wanted to take it offline. But okay, yes, I sent it to Jamie the day that it was completed. Do you want to jump in here at any time, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, I've been confused this whole time, Janet, because I sent you that email as soon as Veronica sent it over to me. As soon as I got it, I proofread it and I sent it to you, and I got a red receipt about 5 minutes later. So I'm not sure what happened, but you have the email.
You didn't send it to me. You did not send it to me, Jamie. Don't. I wouldn't have brought it up in the meeting if you would have sent it to me.
With all due respect, yes, I did. I sent it to you. As soon as she sent it to me, I sent it to you. And I have the red receipt to prove it. Do you need me to go pull it up?
I am looking here, and it looks like I did receive it. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but guys, that's not the point. The point is that I need you to be on top of it, okay? Listen, when I ask for an email, just send it. Just send it over.
So somehow you're still finding a way to blame it on us. Our emails were done. I even feel like we need to jump back on a Zoom call with everybody that was on that initial call and let them know what the outcome of this was. Because it's okay, even as a leader, to admit that you were wrong and that you kind of dropped the ball and make up for what you tried to do to me and Jamie on that Zoom call. I'm just saying, that's just my opinion. I know I'm just a frontline person, but you know.
Let me fill in some gaps, because there's a video of it where the manager, and the two women were on the Zoom call. Apparently, Veronica is the frontline worker. The other lady is a supervisor, and the lady that was speaking that she didn't get anything was the manager. During the Zoom call, she said she was calling out Veronica for not sending the email. And she said, yes, I did. I sent it to the manager. And what Veronica is upset about is because the manager said, okay, so we'll take this discussion off the air and we'll talk all about it. And that's what made Veronica was like, wait a minute. So you was willing to call me out during the during the Zoom meeting because you thought I was doing something wrong. But now that you realize it was the person that's underneath you may have had an issue, now you want to take all the information offline. Like, I don't think that's right. Like, why are you willing to call me out? And now that you're not able to call me out, we need to discuss this after the Zoom meeting. But I know managers like this. I know managers who have been caught in not straight up lies, but oh God, what's the word I want to use?
A mistake.
A mistake. But they can't own it. Thank you. They just can't own it. Me personally, but guys, we got to realize that we got to step up and we got to do our job. I would look the manager in the eye and just straight up say, you're right. We need to do our job. I mean, it's just that simple. I can't do no more than what you asked me to do. If you was the one that dropped the ball, I agree with you. We need to be doing our job. Only one of us didn't. So if you want to pass the blame to make yourself feel better, Okay. But I am in total lockstep and agreement of what you're saying. We all need to do our job. And in the back of your mind, you're going to know that, yes, we do need to do our job. Now, that is agreeing with her because we're talking about a job now. Don't be Billy Badass and start cussing the manager out because that's stupid. That's for your ego. But it's also saying we need to do our job, meaning all of us need to be doing our job. And you are the only one that didn't.
Yeah, I mean, the whole video, I get the point that they were trying to illustrate, and then I understand that it was a cartoon, so they were trying to keep it entertaining. But it was a reach, it was a stretch. I mean, I've been in that situation. You know, you're the lowest one on the totem pole, and they blame you, and you're like, "Yeah, I can show you where it wasn't me." You know, Tracy, they're talking about the broken Fire Stick. I think.
Oh no,
Because
a used Fire Stick that was unlocked.
yeah, I don't even know what that even truly means because I have Fire Sticks all through my house, and I buy it. It's synchronized to my Amazon account. I plug it into the TV and I watch TV. Like, I'm very basic, very very basic.
No, Tracy, in the story, he said his parents were basically getting a hacked Fire Stick with unlocked, where it's advertised as you can watch anything for free, but most of the times they are a scam. And they are to an extent. Can you get different new channels? Yes. Will you get all the channels? Absolutely not. Not as advertised, so to speak. Like the hundreds of channels, you're not getting hundreds of channels.
See, here's where you end up with an issue with someone like me. This isn't to sound, pious or anything like that, but I try to be consistent in what I say my values are. So just the idea of getting a fire broken or whatever you call a broken Fire Stick is just wrong to me. I'm not going to steal like that. There's too many options to watch what I want to watch for free. So the only reason that I'm going to steal access to somebody, to be able to watch the movie that just came out or something like that, that's dishonest. And it's like, whatever. I can't do it. I know a lot of people, their moral code is a lot more flexible, so they make allowances. Not me. Can't do it. But yeah, I just it's not worth it. It's not worth it. But whatever. With the manager though, yeah, I've been there, and they throw you under the bus, and I'm pretty good with my words, So you do it doesn't end well on the very few occasions that someone has tried that with me. Because like I'll put together the work. I'm an analyst. So I take raw information and I pull it in and I put it in a nice, pretty way for you to be able to quickly read it and disseminate the message that you want to push down the line. So I'm going to ask you, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Who is the audience? What is the timetable? All that stuff. And I go and I put together the presentation and I hand it to you. And every time I hand it to the person, I'm like, look, here's the file, here's the download, and here's the link. So if there's something in the link that you need to play with, go ahead and change it. I'll be notified that you changed it. Just go ahead and change whatever you need to change. But proof this, okay? Read it. Make sure it's saying what you want it to say before you send it down the line. That's my job. My job is to get it together as well as I can get it, hand it to the next person for them to proof it, absorb it, or whatever they need to do with it, massage it however they need to. And then if either they send it down the line or they send it or they present it. It's whichever way that goes. If you ain't do your job, that ain't on me. So when you turn around and say that I messed it up, I might have got a formatting issue wrong. I might have missed some of the data. Those kinds of things can come back to me. But my question is going to be, aren't you the one that's supposed to proof this? Right? So this is one of those times where, like in my scenario, it would be I did it. I handed it to my supervisor to proof it. And then that supervisor sent it on down to the executive. And the executive was like, I didn't get it. Supervisor, did you send it? Yep, I sure sent it. Okay. So why you calling me out? Right?
And I guess that's my only issue is, and I agree with Veronica on it, it may be a stretch. It may not. It may be the fact that we so used to that situation that it's like, oh yeah, you're finna get offline now because you don't want the whole office to know you're the one that did the blundering. But I do have a problem with management who do not take responsibilities in their mistake. And honestly, if it was a private situation, I probably wouldn't say anything about it. Like if you that same scenario, and you literally sat there and said, "Oh, I found the email. I'm so sorry. I apologize. You know, that's my mistake and everything else." Okay, cool. I get it. You know, we all make mistakes. We're all not perfect and everything else. But you, manager, just build such a distaste to you was willing to call out your Serbian. And then when you realize it wasn't their fault, now let's take this offline because you definitely don't want to call out your supervisor. Then, okay, I see the email here, but that's not the point. No, that's the fucking point of this whole meeting. That literally what the reason we're sitting here for now. Exactly the point. Now you can pretty it up all you want to with the we need to work together, which is why I said, yeah, we all do.
Well, the way you do it in the business environment is when she said that goofy shit, you say, okay, so that I can make sure that I'm operating within the scope of the expectations for my role, what should I have done differently? How can I have improved my performance in this situation? And then stop talking. Now, what's going to happen to be is a discussion between the supervisor and the manager at that point, because the manager has to just come up with something out of her behind. She ain't got nothing. Ooh, Marlon, you are gone. But yeah, that's what the next piece would have been. Marlon, you still there, or is this me? I don't know. Hello? Wow, I got two Marlins.
Shut up.
No, literally, I got two Marlins.
No, I know.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's for those of you who are out there, especially because that means at this stage of the game, especially if you're like a Gen Zer, you're probably reporting to a millennial or a Gen Xer. Especially if you're reporting to a Gen Xer, that's how you talk to us. You do what Veronica did, and you might feel good in this meeting. Talk to me like that if you want to, and I'm your manager. I'll be dead wrong. Now, granted, I have a different philosophy of management. I don't believe that I put any of my subordinates on the line. So if something went wrong, I just own it. Right? So if I'm talking anybody above and across, I just own it. And then I'll come talk to you offline. I'm not going to throw you under the bus. But the attitude that's always in the Veronica videos, not very conducive if you're actually trying to have a career somewhere. So govern yourself accordingly.
That's said what I said is Veronica videos are cute, but if you want a career, you want to keep your job, it's very unrealistic. It really is. Some of them I do agree with. But I'm not going to take that away. Some of them I wholeheartedly agree with. I wholeheartedly agree with how she handled it. But some of them is just like
delivery matters.
That's not real. Yeah, this internet is like,
yeah, I'm like, it got bad again.
This internet is messing up. So let me get up out of here. Foxy's videos of the week. Two marlins are not better than one when both of them are frozen. I agree. I don't know what is going on. It's never been this bad. But in the near future, I'm getting a new computer in a way. So maybe I'm hoping that fixes everything.
Well, your computer ain't but like what, a year, 2 years old?
No, it was 4. I started the show off this computer.
Oh, I thought you had because Foxy had got you a computer at one point.
Foxy ain't never bought me a computer. She ain't buying me no computer.
Oh, I thought she did. I'm sorry.
Nah, she ain't buying me no computer.
Back when Javier got hired.
Not true at all. Now I hope the internet is messing up so they don't hear that. First day as a hit woman.
Last day as a hit woman.
You forgot you was black, didn't you?
You nasty anyway, running your finger around in a cup.
She's trying to kill him. Who cares?
Still nasty. And the fact she did it and then still, I mean, that's something that she do. She stir her own drink with her finger. Nasty. They're like people. Sorry if this offends anybody. There are a lot of people who lick their finger and they touch the paper and then keep licking their finger. No, I don't want your spit on my paper. Nasty.
Second video of the
just
end of the night. If anybody who's not been into a black church, I'm gonna give you a hint of how it is being in a black church, especially when they're preaching.
Yeah, that poor baby, he been in church since he was born. He know that you wait for the organ to hit. Yeah.
That baby is so used to it, it ain't even funny.
My poor children, because I don't even go to church, they don't know none of the church culture. So they be in there just lost.
Oh.
They don't know none of the songs. They don't know none of the routines, none of the little traditional things that we do, little ritual things that we do. They don't know none of it. They just be in there lost. Like two little white kids in the black church. That's what they look like. It's funny.
Okay. That video, when it comes to how white people deal with this
Can't hear you.
Oh, come on.
All right, now I hear you.
Comparing black people and white people when it comes to insects.
Oh, hey! It's an eastern loofah grasshopper. They'll be found all over North America. Very friendly. Whoop, there he goes. Man. So I sat there and watched his toenails fall off because you just don't use everything you see on the internet. What the heck is that?
Now we gonna be a little extra, but we ain't gonna be all like that. I don't know. Well, actually, I don't know. Well, I got one of my kids. I sent her out to get the mail. She saw a bee. Not the bee came up to her. She saw a bee. She was done. She came back in the house.
Wow.
Some folks just can't deal with no bugs.
I remember once as a little kid having a teacher who licked their fingers every page she turned, and I couldn't stand it.
Which is nasty.
It's nasty, but for me, it's a different form of nasty. Like, you don't know where that book been, and you just sitting there licking your fingers and ooh.
You would think COVID would cure some people of that, but I don't think it has. People just nasty.
Nope. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and show the two videos from last night that Theus did not see. Simply because one, I want to get Theus to start on it, and two, I'm lazy and I didn't want to go look up any more videos, especially since next weekend I'm off. Yay. When you get an email from your job, but you are on vacation.
That ain't got shit to do with me. Hey, that ain't got shit to do with me. That ain't got shit to do with me. Hey, that ain't got shit to do with me.
He'll be there when I get back.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
And don't let me be gone for like 3-4 days. If I'm gone for like 3-4 days, anything that you sent me on the first 2 days, I ain't even gonna open it.
You will be amazed at when I go on cruises, one of the most happiest moments of my life, because I ain't get your email anyway until I get to some place that has Wi-Fi. So if the building is burning down, I don't know what you want me to do. I'm in another country.
You got work email?
Yeah, it's on my phone.
Man, I got. All right,
wait a minute, let me stop you there. I got it on my phone because of COVID. Now, I was there for about 3 years, and they never thought about putting it on my phone. As soon as COVID happened, and I was the only one that was coming in, we need to put your work email on your phone.
Look, a lot of people I work with got their email on their phone. Yeah. I do not. I will not. Now, we may be in different positions though. Like if I had, like you may have people who report to you, so it makes sense because people sometimes message you when they're sick or whatever it is. I don't have no direct reports. In this role that I'm in, is me find me. So I just report upwards. Ain't nothing I need to see to stress me out on my days off. Oh, no. I don't know nothing till I open that laptop and plug it into the system. That's it. You want me, better hit me on Teams. And then I might not see that because if I'm not at work, I ain't even opening the app. I'm sorry. That ain't me.
All right, everybody. Last video tonight while I still maybe have internet. Hell if I know. I don't know until I freeze it. This is something that's at the exact same time.
See, everybody don't need to find their talent in life.
I thought that was very cool. No, I'll put you back on it.
Some people don't ever need to know what their talent is.
Here's what I was saying about last night. Here's what I said last night. Music is basically notes. And if you think about it, every human can hit, every talented human can hit every note in music. So obviously this is something that you can't do by yourself, of course. But are you able to replicate a theme song or music by your voice alone? Yes. Because you are able to use your voice to duplicate that note. I mean, that was very talented.
Just because you can do something don't mean you should do something. But whatever. Not for me.
All right. Again, programming note, we will have Friday Night Guys with Anna Friday. But we are off Saturday and Sunday to reboot and refresh, and for me to spend some quality time with Foxy, who has already filled next weekend up. Already. It ain't house chore, just sit outside the house where I'm nowhere near a computer. But again, y'all can email anything that you want. You know what their talent is. Painless. Just tell everybody where they can find you.
Hey, y'all can find me at ourunitedcore.com. Seriously, I need more engagement. Help me get out there. If you believe in what we're trying to do, then I need your help. Go to the website, check it out, forward it, post it on your social media. Need more attention and need more members, but really just the attention will help get that out there, because that way I can get more ideas, more feedback, things like that. I have a new promotion that we're going to be running here where I don't know if you're stateside and you have a Krispy Kreme near you, we got something coming down the line that you might like. It'll help us raise some money for the organization for some of the things that we do. So that's coming down the line here in the next few days. But that's it.
All right, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and
Internet just won't let Marlon be great. It done froze up on him again. So
I'm assuming you're Legibitqua until you come out to me as straight.
What? I now wish to be referred to as Legibitqua. Yep, that's happening now. Let's Legibitqua. Feels so bougie.
I'm really hating this internet tonight. This is one of the worst shows we ever had. Till next time, we will see you, and we see you. Peace.
Well, now we're on to the rest of silly season. Let's make it a good run to the end, y'all.
We're into it. When did we? Yeah.
The conventions are over.
16.
Conventions